Um, so let me give a little background story. Elele means hand in hand, and it started in 2016 with my Fulbright experience in Baku, Azerbaijan. They asked me if I can teach ESL classes, and then I realized more than ESL, there are a lot of scholars who needed to publish their work to go to academic settings or become full professors. So they were struggling with publications. And 2016, I started a project called Academic Writing Lab, and that grew so much that I continued doing every Monday mornings at 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is their evening time in Azerbaijan. So I have every semester um, under students, well, plus students signed up, and only maybe handful of them received the certificate of participation, but some of them continued to come back and started producing, and more interest into media literacy education grew out of it. And and what we started to do recently is that everyone using the new technologies, I end up using resources like OWL, where Purdue University, for instance, provides a lot of good samples for APA, Chicago, the Harvard style of writing. And most of the students just needed some curated information, and some of them needed a little bit mentorship, and because they're non-native speakers and the internet is, oh, there's so much on the internet. There are some things that they needed some curation. So I started sharing resources. We started with Grammarly, and now um, they're using all these different types of AI. And Baku American Center um, last year, um, right in the middle of the semester, send me a note saying that you have to hold all your classes. We have a mandate that we just can't continue these classes anymore. To this day, nobody really explained what it was, but I continued the classes now on my own, um, because I used to get the crowd through them. But there are different countries and different restrictions, and having relationships, because Baku American Center is being funded by um, U.S. government, and there are some constraints or complications that beyond my knowledge at this point. But just recently, I received the award to go to um, Uzbekistan, I'm sorry, Turkmenistan again. This is a country I have been in 2008. So I'm going to introduce this project over there. I had the Fulbright Specialist Grant takes me there in June. So I'm hoping this I will find out what's really going on in Central Asia and what else I can do to use this resources and project that I started to share with the bigger audience. And my goal, of course, is to bring more media literacy into their writing and their understanding, and ethical and appropriate use of AI in their projects. Because recently, what I am seeing in my adjunct teaching, as well as hearing from my substitute teaching experience, everyone is going AI, and just thinking there's no need to write anymore. You could just go there and do this. But at the same time, I have a big passion that there are so many academics, and a lot of great research is not being translated or not being able to publish in global arenas. So this academic writing lab that um, what I call it now Elele, hand in hand will really bring the global scholars together to continue sharing their resources. And AI is one of the tools for language and grammar support, but the content really needs to be highlighted and shared. I started doing tech conferences, speed tech conferences, and it's 5 minute, 10 slide presentations. And all these recordings I also share with the students. And for this one, I used to get my students in the United States to present at the same time they share around. So I'm going to continue to do these tech conferences using online platforms. And our 15-week program, it was 10-week program. So now the curriculum is stretched to 15-week program because we added 5 additional sections for inviting scholars. So it's not just about giving feedback, looking at their papers, using online resources. Now the goal is to, which I started doing, bringing scholars, my colleagues, you, to my classes and presenting your passion, how you started becoming an author, and how did you, what kind of tips that you wish you had when you are an emerging scholar yourself. And I used to be a associate professor at NYIT, so it gave me a chance to use the NYIT logo. But I'm also now hoping that maybe I'll find an institution that will help me certify the certifications, because I didn't even realize how important it is for the students who come back to me and they say, "Oh, I'm cherishing that certificate of presentation." And so there are two things I give. One is for completing the class, all 10, at that time it was 10-week program, at least attending all 9 successfully, and showing me a draft of their paper. But now, and then attending the conference was another one. I believe it or not, 2022, I end up, because I was at that time in Kenya doing another Fulbright specialist work. My Kenyan students also said, "Oh, we still remember that Speed Tech conference." So I'm hoping to bring the certificate and of accomplishments to the audience, this global audience. I didn't even realize how important it is to have that certificate, but I really need to have a substantiated one that's not just my signature, but an organization who might be help me do that. And we also, I actually started working on the WordPress, but I haven't finished it that I can share with you yet. I'm just going to share with you the link, but hopefully in a month or so, now that I finished my big day on May 3rd, I am free to complete the website, and hopefully by the next board meeting, I would be able to share with you the link. And also, hopefully, that I will add more asynchronous projects, because a lot of people also wanted to have the classes in different time slots. So more recordings, more little clips. So we're hoping to have a digital repository of information, like a YouTube channel, that I have so many videos that I can repurpose, but also create new learning resources. And again, media literacy meets academic writing, because I think right now, especially the good use of AI and having, just like we were talking earlier, having a trust in media, or knowing how to trust what resources in the media is part of good academic writing skills, um, uh, finding good resources to cite, because if you're overseas, you don't have academic journals the way that we access. They're very limited journals. They That's why Baku American Center was so critical for it's like a library, and they had ProQuest, they had academic searching tools. So I don't know what's the situation right now, but they really need to have those resources to be able to cite. And the other big issue in overseas, they are more in the copy and paste type of writing. They don't they I don't want to say they don't know how to paraphrase, but it's a very different culture sometimes, that their writings styles in Azerbaijan cannot be publishable. Even Turkish editorial work that they were struggling to publish. I actually had a chance to edit a few Turkish papers because the students were. I'm also interested in publishing in Turkey. So again, still adding the research skills because I think that's critical, and other resources. So I also, oh, go ahead. It's the last slide.
Yeah. Okay. That's the last slide. Okay. Go ahead.
So most important thing, I think I also realized, I'm sorry, after at the end of every session I finish, I sometimes die because I wanted to keep it open-ended at the beginning, depending on who brings what paper. I had lawyers coming. I had like I'm not an expert in certain disciplines. I have medical people. Like I want to learn how to write. So when I started, it was mostly psychology, mostly in humanities field. So again, what I'm hoping that I will do is to either segment it those sections or make it some kind of an agenda that I will, in every session, I detail and then do open-ended sessions for people who might be in different disciplines. And of course, the roadmap and everything is ready. It just needs to be implemented. Again, hopefully by in September, I will be ready to start implementing all that programs and giving all the impact and certificates. And I'm hoping this is what's happening. You're helping because you might be the 5 minute presenter for me to start the session. And then if they have more questions, they can email you if you're able to help me out with your wisdom. I really get this hand in hand. We amplify the scholars' voices through this grant and through your support. Thank you. And these are the links. By the way, the academic writing link is already alive. I can show you, but the Elele Yaz WordPress is still in progress. Thank you.
Wonderful.
And yeah,
if you can stop. Oh, you're going to go to the site. Okay.
I was going to, but then I said, like, I'll stop and
Okay.
stop again. Yeah.
Any comments, questions? I can imagine the challenge if this was funded by the U.S. State Department. We are all quite aware of that challenge ourselves here. Oh, okay.
So this was my little work that's now going to be more systematized. So again, I just wanted to quickly show.
Okay. Open it up for any questions or comments. I can't even imagine the language barrier and issues that you are jumping through while attempting to do all of this. So go ahead, Alice.
Yeah, so I would like to know, will you include ChatGPT as your AI tools in your future writing courses?
All right. So I want to say yes because they're already using it. Even if I say, oh, don't use it, they already come to me and they show me different tools they use. So this is not something that we can prevent, or it's just that questioning the questions or showing how AI is actually not, because their language skills is not good enough to even know that it looks so AI writing. Nobody's going to believe that they're writing, or it's changing the topic altogether. So I think gently showing them, because I'm working people already like assistant professors, or they already finished their doctorate. They just need to have that extra leap to publish. So they, their English skill is just in between. And I'm an ESL myself, so I know what's really happening to them. So yes, we use ChatGPT, DeepSeek, you name it. That they are out there exploring all the tools. But Central Asia is my focus. My depending, I know that I'm going to, it's already approved for Fulbright specialist, but pending, I'm actually going to Kyrgyzstan in September. So I'm hoping this will be really Kyrgyz, Turkmen, and Azerbaijan and Uzbekistan. So those four countries I have been and will be in Kyrgyzstan. That will, because I know now I know what's really I could do to help the scholars over there living in those places.
So I can imagine there's many ways for ChatGPT to be useful to help people with English as a second language, to assist in like translating sections, interpreting what something means. So there are so many uses that we can't be afraid to experiment with. But again, it's teaching them the level of dependence on that.
Exactly. I'm learning with them, to tell you the truth, because when they bring a text, this happened, yeah, last summer, last summer, no, the summer before, I was teaching in Vancouver, and for NYT, that was my last cohort, and the students bringing all these, and most of my students from Asia, and particularly from India and China, and I can clearly see these students who did projects a week before and then a week after, and they told me that when I smiled, I said, "Anyone use the any AI tool here? As long as you give me a quote and say this part is, AI generated, I'm not going to consider as a." So I kind of digged it through, and they told me this is, I didn't even know. They even give the data from the Qualtrics and told AI to turn that Qualtrics into an analysis. And it was really like shocking to me at that time. Now I see everything is easily AI use. So you could do like you give an agenda to an AI tool, and then it listens to you on a Zoom call and writes you a nice minute. So it's possible now. But 2 summers ago, I was really learned from the students, and they admitted what they did. So I end up still giving them a good grade because they were honest.